paintings I've been working on. So in my last live stream, I showed all my underpaintings and I was so excited to add colour to them. And now I have added colour. And not only that, I have one that is finished. Can you believe this? I can't believe it myself. And I don't know what that was. Okay, so I'm going to show you 4. I mean, it's not an enormous amount, but 2 are on gesso boards and 2 are on like these 2 panels, MDF panels. That basically, I think I got them from Amazon, and all I did was just prime them just with a sealant that sort of seals the wood, and that's always really useful to have, because then you don't have to worry about, you know, if you use something that is going to seep into the MDF. So yes, that's really what I do. You can also use a gesso as well. That's also a really good thing to use. And there's also the Michael Harding non-absorbent primer as well, which is a really good one. There are loads of different products you can use actually. I might do a video talking about that, because it's always quite fun to talk about, you know, making your own panels, because it's always so great. So the first one, I think, I don't know, I've got 2 frogs, 1 cat and a rabbit. So it's quite a big variety here actually, I've just realised. My main aim is not to get paint on myself, but that never happens. So here we go. This is the painting that is actually finished. I'm actually just wondering if I should turn my ring light down a little bit, just so it's possible to see. This could go wrong, but you never know. Let's see. Ooh, well, that's quite like, oh, that looks, is that better? Is that worse? I thought it was like, ooh, quite romantic lighting, but then actually it might look worse. Okay, so maybe this might show up a bit better. I don't think so. Maybe from here you can see it. Problem with having a ring light. Here we go. There you go. There you go. There's this bunny in a forest and is walking through the mushrooms, super regal, super fancy, got a top hat, because why not? You know, you're feeling fancy, you definitely do wear a top hat, and a cape. And yeah, and this colour that I used for the cape is actually, first casualty, is actually a colour by Old Holland, and it's called Royal Purple Lake. And I've had it for a really, really long time, and I have like a big box where I put all my oil paints, and they're kind of like in different sections. So the ones that I use the most I leave at the top, and the ones I use slightly less I leave at the bottom. And this paint, Royal Purple Lake, was sitting right at the bottom because I used to use it a lot, and then for some reason alizarin crimson just sort of took over, because that's a really good colour for these types of like fabrics and things, because it's kind of semi-transparent, so you get a really, really nice glow. However, this colour, the Royal Purple Lake, is actually a really beautiful tone. It has an amazing undertone. It's like a mixture between purple and alizarin crimson, so it has a really amazing look when I use it, and I think it's a very classical look, and so I think it works quite well in this particular painting. So this is the painting, and I do hope you like it, and it will be in my Etsy store in 2 days when it's dried and varnished. So yeah, so that's one done. It's so weird because at this point I would be cutting the video like this, but I'm not. I'm still talking, so it's so weird to get used to, because I'm always a bit like, okay, I need to turn my camera off now, and then I'm still, I can't. I could just vanish and then come back, but then, you know, that would be a bit, I don't even know how to do that. I'm so useless at using live stream. Oh, hello. Hi to Liam. Hi. Thank you so much. Thank you for the compliment. I hope you like the paintings. Next up, we have a cat. So this was the cat that I spoke about that was drinking tea and was very kind of enjoying its party, having a nice party, and all of a sudden it gets an epiphany, and so it's sort of like epiphany cat. And so this cat is right at the beginning stage, so I've only done 1 layer of oils over it, over the underpainting, because I always do an underpainting obviously, and yeah, so I suspect that there's going to be steam coming out of this tea cup. It's so funny because when I used to do drama training, sometimes the teacher would always say, whenever I say the letter S, I have a tendency to hiss, and so like I kind of completely got rid of the habit, and now I feel like it just accidentally came back. So yeah, hopefully she's not watching. And so then next we have another frog. These are drying really fast, as I've been using mostly faster drying oils. This, I can talk about the slower drying colours if you're interested, maybe at a later date. Here we have a very brightly lit frog. I'm just kneeling down like this because I just want you to see it. And as you can see, it's partaking in some very fine wine, very majestic looking frog. The idea behind this was really just that this frog had really good taste, and so frog autoed. I sort of went through a phase of trying to work it out, but I think it's a frog toad or a toad frog. It had really good taste, so it's sort of sampling lots of different fine wines, and manages to choose the one that is the most expensive every time. So, you know, I feel like everyone has a friend like that. They've just got to really, they like the finer things in life. And so, yes, that's frog. I feel like I do generally like the finer things in life, but I don't have the money for the finer things in life. But this froggy toad is wealthy, as you can see. Very fancy. Purple waistcoat. This colour was dark Sazine purple, a classic. I don't use it very much. It's a colour that I sort of sometimes like, sometimes I hate. I feel like it has, because it has a very strong blue undertone, I always tend to lean towards alizarin crimson. However, because the wine was a more reddish tone, I felt I had to go with the purple for the waistcoat. So there we are. And lots of finery here and a crown, obviously. And this is going to gain more foliage in the background. I feel like it's going to be a garden party. Mainly also because I like painting flowers and plants. Once again, in my Etsy store fairly soon, but it really does depend on how the details go and if I can, you know, work wet in the background and all those things, because this is on a different surface. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so glad you like it. Thank you so much to Holly. Hello. I'm so glad you like it. That's so sweet and kind. Okay, so next one. We're racing through these. I can't believe it. I can't even believe I'm here before 10 o'clock. This is like a world's miracle. And the next one and final one is this frog on mushrooms. So here we go. Am I out of the frame? I'm in the frame. Am I out of the frame? And this definitely looks more like a frog in my opinion. And this was the painting that I was talking about in another video, which was where I was talking about how there was this frog sitting on tons and tons of mushrooms. And so here we go, this is how it's looking at the moment. This painting is actually several layers in, but I haven't really progressed with doing the details yet. I'm just trying to build up the dimension. So sometimes when it's a mushroom or something 3D, I like to do multiple layers to try and get more dimension on the mushrooms. And so this frog is drinking tea on some mushrooms, and it's just found the most perfect place to recline and think about its life and be philosophical. And so this is probably going to include a lot more mushrooms and a lot more exciting things in it, and lots more foliage and stuff and plants. But as you can see at the moment, this is how it is. And yeah, so I do hope you like it. It's very kind of in the early stage. I really wanted to use green gold, which is actually one of my favourite colours, and as you can see, it would work really, really well on the frog. But it is super expensive and I don't have it at the moment. I'm kind of waiting for a sale on oil paints, and just kind of seeing which one I'm gonna, from which brand I want to get it from. But I do have it in one brand, which is Rembrandt, but at the moment I haven't used it just because it is very slow drying in Rembrandt, and I want to kind of get these, I'm feeling impatient at the moment. I feel like I want to get a lot of paintings done before Christmas, because during the Christmas period I'm not going to have as much time to like go and paint, because there's so many things going on during Christmas, and so there won't be as much opportunity. So I feel like I really want to just at least do some and update my store as well, and hopefully I'll be able to make prints. So I have 2 stores, one for the oil paintings, which is GemmaRamjiArt, and another for my prints and fun things like notebooks and notebooks, posters, and what's the third thing that I do? Something else. I should really know this. I should really know this. But yeah, so cards I'm hoping to work on soon, and yeah, like stickers. I do have small stickers, but I'm thinking I might make them slightly bigger. It's kind of a funny thing with stickers though, because I personally, whenever I buy stickers, I always buy the really small ones because I feel like they're the cutest. So I may stick with doing the smaller ones, but they're 3 by 3 inches, which I don't know if that's actually even that small. But like in comparison to others, because you can get bigger stickers than that, I am aware that the sticker market is like vast and very interesting. I thought I would quickly talk about my medium before end. So I've been using Walnut Orchid. Look at the state of it, it's hideous and it's sticky, and you know, because it's coming towards the end, as you can see, I've just ordered some more. This is one of the best non-toxic oil painting mediums. I also really like all of the mediums by Wallace Seymour because they're non-toxic, the Cocobello line, and I just love using them because they smell amazing and have a beautiful like classical finish, if you like. I really like the look of them, and they're some of my favourites, and I also love to use them for underpainting as well. And also the Michael Harding solvent free line that he's come out with, the miracle mediums, those are incredible. So I always like to recommend mediums that are non-toxic, just because I feel like it's one of the most important things when it comes to buying oil painting products, because I feel like you can get amazing products out of turpentine, and it's almost like a easy go-to, because anything with turpentine in is going to look incredible, because turpentine is such an amazing solvent. However, it's terrible to breathe in, so that's why I always say, if you don't have a big studio space, if you don't keep your windows open all the time, which who wants to keep their windows open all the time when they're painting? Unless you live in a really hot, wonderful country. If you live in, like, I don't know, Miami, then yeah, you probably wouldn't have a problem. But if you live in, or like California, but if you live in England, I mean, we get like 3 months summer, and that is being generous, you know, because it's like summer, but then sometimes there'll be like random storms and stuff, so you don't really get much sunshine here. It's so much better just to go with a non-toxic option. You can sleep well at night thinking that you haven't been inhaling toxic fumes, and I do think that is just so important, because yeah, you never really know what it could do in the future. And then I thought I'd quickly talk about paintbrushes. Do I have time? No, not really, but I'm still going to do it anyway. So these actually look awful. I shouldn't have shown these. I don't clean my paintbrushes, by the way. As in, I do clean them, but not after a painting session. So basically what I do is, so I have 3 main types. I'm going to show you. These are the 3 main types that I use. So I use the Pro Art Bristolene. They're my absolute favourite. I'm not saying that they're the best paintbrush. If I had more money, I would probably spend a ton on paintbrushes. But I think that they're a great way to save money, because you can buy cheaper paintbrushes and still paint really amazing paintings. Paint, on the other hand, or like surfaces, you do have to spend more, I think, or like gessos and things. But yes, this is the Bristolene line. This is one flat, but I also use a Filbert in this size, which is, as usual, you can't see the size because the paint is covering it, but I think this is a size 6. Then I have a medium size. So this is just for my smaller paintings. I just have a medium size, which is, you can actually see, it's a 2. So this is a 2. So 6, 2, 2, 6, 6, 2. And you could also go like slightly smaller or slightly bigger. And then, what's this? Filbert, and this is a 0. So this is for fine detail. So I tend not to use the rounds, just because I find them a bit too bendy, and sometimes if you bend them they just don't go back into shape. So these are my favourite 3 brushes in terms of sizes and shape. It doesn't really matter, like if I interchange them, so some of them are filbert, some of them are flat, some of them are round, it doesn't, apart from the smallest one, so it doesn't really matter that much. But I just like to keep these sizes, and these are the only 3, I only use 3 brushes per painting. I never use more than that, and sometimes I will use like sometimes 1 for the entire painting. I just am more of a minimalist when it comes to brushes. When it comes to paint I have a ton, but brushes I'm like, I don't know, I feel like you can do a hell of a lot with just 1 brush. You can turn it to the side, you can do all kinds of effects, especially with the flats as well, so you can just keep turning them around, and if you hit the point on the flat you can get loads of fine details, so you don't even need to change your brush. This actually just goes to show that I'm quite lazy, because I just can't be bothered to change my brush. And yeah, so I paint on my hands, but it's too late. So yeah, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was longer than I expected. Wow. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video, as I say, and that you are having a wonderful evening. And thank you so much to absolutely everyone who joined me and left me absolutely lovely and kind comments. And I will see you soon. Take care, guys.